Hey y'all, Stink here. Today I want to just show what it's like to have a Steam Deck after, I would say, roughly about a year of long-term usage. I'd say it's held up pretty well. But I'll also add a disclaimer too that I don't really have a lot of time to play games, and I've seen Steam Decks that have kind of been in worse overall condition. This is also like my first live video as well, or I guess like physical video, and if you can't tell what style I'm using, is obviously the Dank-Pods style. Great channel, by the way. I'm sure you probably have already heard of him, or people who will probably watch this will probably have already seen it. But yeah, this is the 1 terabyte Steam Deck OLED model, the limited edition one, as you can tell by the orange analog nubs, the translucent plastic in the back. But there is something special about this Steam Deck that I made a modification to, and I'm sure that people who already are very much aware of the Steam Deck should know as well. And another thing too is I like to provide an argument to why this is arguably the best handheld subjectively rather than objectively to own. But we'll get into that when I'm done explaining the intro. Anyways, I'm going to be powering this guy on. It may take a minute. It may take like a minute. Hopefully not. Knock on wood. Oh, I guess knock on the plastic. Oh, okay. Well, huh. Anyways, yeah. So this is this is my Steam Deck intro, and I'm sure as you can already tell, it is already modified. That's because I use what is like oftenly known as like the Steam Deck plugins. Decky Loader. As you can tell in the sidebar, if you see that logo right there, that is an indicator of the Decky logo, or of the Decky plugin. And this is my library of games. I have roughly, I want to say like around 270 games. Yeah, my library is pretty massive from over the years of playing on Steam and Windows in general. And I've actually been very much satisfied with just how awesome this device is, generally speaking. Here, let me show you one of the modifications I have made to it, just by going into the settings. And yeah, sorry for the overexposed lighting. It's probably from the light above. Anyways, let's go down to the storage. And as you can tell, I have around 1.8 terabytes of storage. Now, like I said, let me bring it in a little bit. Yeah, right there. Normally, these devices tend to traditionally have like 1 terabyte, and then you can throw in like a 1 terabyte card as well. Expand the storage to 2 terabyte. But I got a good deal on a 2 terabyte storage over the summer for a 230 drive, and upgraded the. Well, I always had like the 1 terabyte micro SD card, and I had it for about a year, and so far it's been pretty spectacular. As you can tell, they also added just more features over time, like the game recording. This isn't through like the plugins, but yeah, you can tell they added a lot of features to it. Just long-term owning the device for roughly a year, and I guess the translucent model kind of goes to show that I have indeed owned this device for a year, because this thing sold out like around a month into it being available, I would say, give or take. Yeah. Let me see. Let's go back into home. Yeah, and let me show you some things that you can probably do to make your overall Steam Deck experience a little bit better. And there's a lot of I want to say just myths around the Steam Deck that, if anything, could be, on one hand, they're true, but on the other hand, they don't really disclose that you can improve things substantially on the Steam Deck. Like say when I saw ROG Ally X videos, they were saying, oh, well, you can easily double the battery life in a game that typically runs around 2 hours to around 3.5 hours because of the larger battery. And that is true. However, let me show you with one of my favorite games I've been playing on this thing here and there, Witchfire. And this is a really good example. And as you can tell, like, the battery life is at 92%. So this will probably give you a good outcome of exactly what could be what it's like to use this this device, or just modifying this device to make it run a little bit better, a little bit faster, etc. And maybe I haven't done it for this game, but I'll show you other games I have done it as well when it comes to the Decky Loader plugins. Alright, so let's get into the game. And as you can tell, arguably the most demanding area is, I would say, this. And you're going to see strobing, and that's because the refresh rate isn't synced exactly with the panel, so apologies on that. But if you can tell up here closely, it is running at roughly 40 FPS. And the battery life is around 3.5 hours. But if I were to enter like a map, in which you're going to be arguably doing this more than going into like the map area and just upgrading. Let's go to the Isle of the Dam. And I will say, like, Isle of the Dam is a good like benchmark of just the other maps too. You might run into more power draw and performance loss, or just more demanding performance with newer maps that come in this game, but typically speaking, you are going to have hold on, oops. Hold on, let me do this really quick. Alright, cool. I cleared out this area. But yeah, as you can tell, just when it comes to like more demanding areas in the game, there is a little bit more power draw, especially like say when you're by this tower. But let me see if I can actually improve performance, in which you're already seeing like the performance go down after using that spell. Here, let's drop this right here. And let's go into here. Like I said, I'm pretty sure I haven't done it for this game just because I've been having overall really good performance with it, or like battery life to performance I've been satisfied with. But as you can tell, look really closely, power tools. Go into power tools, you can update the CPU frequency, and this is arguably a more GPU bound game. I can probably lower the GPU down to like 2500 gigahertz, or just 2500 megahertz, which is 2.5 gigahertz. And there we go. Yeah, see, just by doing that, you can obviously see like I'm back to being around 4 hours, give or take. Yeah, just by reducing that. And obviously there could be some drawbacks, but that's like the fun. That's like the fun in owning a Steam Deck, is just tuning it to suit like what you want out of it. All right, let me exit out of here. Now let me show you a game that really benefits from this. And if you want to see like a series on the Steam Deck where I just do recordings of the battery life with the power tools modifications, I can do that as well. I can do that. Alrighty, let me see. Let's go into library, Ace Combat 7. All right, okay, here we go. Now, there has been an update that kind of, I guess you could say, like messed up my settings over time. You know, just side effect of just owning Steam Deck. In the recent 3.6 launch, they sort of like moved things like the FPS slider and the refresh rate back into being one slider again, which honestly they need to stop doing that. I tapped this by accident. But yeah, so here is Project Aces. I'm gonna have to reduce this to like 40. Yeah. Let me do that now. And screen gonna go black. What? Huh, okay. I did not know that would do that. All right, but here we go. Ace Combat 7, Sky is Unknown. And I believe this should still be at 540p. So if you're someone who does not like 540p, yeah, like obviously upping the resolution will increase battery life performance. But since I like to have it just maximize my battery life overall, I just tend to set games at like the either low medium settings and sometimes high settings, and just lower the resolution to like 540p, turn off like SSAO, because all that stuff is like pretty much like you lose performance and increases battery life. But yeah, let's go into the campaign, continue, and the menus, they don't really matter. Let's skip this. Let's just do this. Let's just start mission. And I'm just gonna pick like a random plane. This is probably not the best, but you know. Go to air, sortie. Let's do a sortie really quick. But yeah, like typically speaking, without the power modifications that I've been doing, you're gonna see like 2 hours of battery life just sitting in the hangar, and like even in the map it's like 2.5 hours of battery life. But you should see very closely that we're going to get around like 5 hours of battery life with like the locked frame rate, with the locked 40 FPS and the 540p resolution.
If you're spotted, the mission is over. Stay out of enemy radar. Use of weaponry is also strictly forbidden. Okay.
This is pretty hard to play, like, so I'm just gonna just show this really quick.
Good luck.
Wait, as you can tell, it's like it's at 10 watts. And it's going to increase in power draw, obviously, when there's more enemies on the screen. But it typically stays around like the 12 watt range using the modified settings. And let me go into here really quick. Yeah, as you can see, right, I have like around 2000 megahertz. Do I do any changes? Nope, I'm not doing any changes to the GPU, because obviously the bottleneck is going to be more on the GPU, so I can lower the CPU and get better battery life. And this isn't like end all be all solution to increasing performance. There's obviously other things that there are going to be obviously games that I can't improve performance on regardless, just because of either A, DRM, or B, just a lack of optimization from the devs. But generally speaking, I can just go into, or rather just like the game itself is just pretty demanding. But typically speaking, I can just go in, make some changes to the power adjustment, or how much like CPU clockage that the device uses during a game, and yeah, increase the battery life. Let me see what else. But as you can tell, like just long-term usage, outside of like some gunk, yeah, really no issues. Like I said, that's probably just a combination, just me not playing it as like hardcore as like other gamers do or whatever. RB, LB, haven't really had any issues. Like my first Steam Deck, the LCD one, had like a very wonky L1, or yeah, L1 right here. Like it'd just be this side, it would have issues, but it works regardless. Back buttons, no issues whatsoever. And yeah, this is my 2 terabyte Steam Deck OLED. that I've had for over a year, and overall, I'll give it a recommendation. Yeah, I would just say, like, if you're someone who does want the other devices, I would say honestly, just if you just want the multiplayer, go ahead, just use it for the multiplayer. But it, for multiplayer games that require Windows. But honestly, like, I'll be real here, most of those games are not really that good. Like, come on. The only one that's arguably worth playing if you're a super hardcore multiplayer guy is Black Ops 6, and even that has like issues with like the anti-cheat. So what's the point of like blocking that from running on here if you're going to still have the same issues on like that platform? But yeah, it's Steam Deck OLED. If you want to see more videos like this, just like the video and subscribe, and I'll see you on the flip side.